Your dog knows you're leaving before you've touched a single thing. Before the keys, before the shoes, before the coat. The sequence began earlier, and your dog has been tracking every step. This is the science of pre-departure cues, and understanding it changes how you think about separation anxiety entirely. Dogs are associative learners of extraordinary precision. They don't track time the way humans do, but they track sequences, patterns, and correlations across days, weeks, and months of observation. Your daily departure routine, however random it might feel to you, is a highly structured predictive chain from your dog's perspective. Researchers have studied this systematically. Alexandra Horowitz at the Barnard Dog Cognition Lab has documented how dogs read owner behavior with granular attention. The morning alarm, the specific sequence of getting dressed, the sound of a particular cabinet where the keys are kept, the way you move differently when you're about to leave versus when you're going to the kitchen for coffee. Each of these is a conditioned stimulus, something that consistently predicts your departure. And the anxiety some dogs experience doesn't wait until the door closes. It begins at the first cue in the chain, sometimes 20 or 30 minutes before you leave. This is why the common advice to just leave suddenly doesn't work. If the alarm, the shower, and the specific coat you wear on work days are already part of the chain, the dog has activated the anxious anticipation before you've said a word. There's research from the University of Lincoln by Daniel Mills and his colleagues that explored what dogs are actually responding to in owner absence. The conclusion was that it's rarely the absence itself. It's the anticipation of the absence, built through cues, that drives the emotional state. So what actually works? The intervention is called pre-departure desensitization. You identify the specific cues in your departure chain, and you systematically decouple them from the event. Pick up your keys, sit back down, put on your coat, make a cup of tea, open the front door, stay inside, close it. You're breaking the predictive chain, not by hiding your behavior, but by flooding the cues with non-outcomes until the dog's conditioned response extinguishes. This takes repetition. For a dog who has spent months or years building this predictive model, a week of decoupled cues isn't enough. But the research shows it works. The dog's stress response, measured through cortisol and behavioral markers, drops as the cues lose their predictive value. There's a practical layer worth knowing. The earliest items in the departure chain tend to be the most powerful conditioned stimuli. For most owners, this means the moment they wake up and begin a workday routine. The alarm sound itself can trigger the anticipation, not because the dog understands clocks, but because the alarm has reliably predicted everything that follows. Patricia McConnell, in her work on separation distress, notes that owners often focus on the goodbye, the moment of leaving, when the most productive intervention is much earlier in the sequence. Changing how mornings feel, not just how departures look. Your dog isn't clingy or broken. They're applying the same associative intelligence that makes them trainable in the first place. Watching you with extraordinary attention, building the most accurate model they can of what your behavior means. The question is how you work with that intelligence, rather than against it. Join the waitlist for AnyDog, your dog's personal AI trainer built on real behavioral science. AnyDog.ai